Shall we begin?
Why would a good God allow suffering to exist? Does God really exist?
Let's begin now.
Why did God command the deaths of so many people in the Bible? Why does God remain so hidden?
Let's begin now.
Welcome to The Third Degree. My name is Sule Prince, and I'm here with Dr. Tony Costa. Dr. Tony Costa, on the flip side, we were speaking about the Nation of Islam. But when I would spend time in New York, I would see a group of these black men screaming at white people that they are actually the true Hebrews. And they call themselves the Black Hebrews or the Black Hebrew Israelites. What's their origin? What are they about?
Well, it's interesting, isn't it? With the Nation of Islam, we have black nationalism taken Islam over, claiming to be the true Muslims. Now we have another group, also with black nationalism, but now trying to take Israelite religion or Judaism as their true heritage. So the Black Hebrews are very similar in that they both claim the claim that the blacks are superior and that they were the true people of God and so forth. They began at the end of the 19th century, the beginning of the 20th century. It's a very multifaceted group. There's not one particular group that we say, here are the Hebrew Israelites or the Black Hebrews. And you can see why they began in that time period. So at the end of the 19th century, they're still getting over the Civil War was a major event in United States history, with the North fighting against the South, and of course, Abraham Lincoln being convicted by his conscience and by the Bible that no human being should be the slave of another. And he moved towards the Emancipation Act to set blacks free and make them equal citizens. And of course, the Democrat-led South opposed this. And incidentally, the Democratic South, the Democrats also created the Ku Klux Klan, the KKK.
But they don't like to talk about that.
They don't want to talk about that. They'll blame that all on the Republicans, which is strange because Abraham Lincoln was a Republican and he wanted to see the abolition of slavery, just like William Wilberforce did in England, where the English abolished slavery first. And of course, John Wesley, the great reformer, congratulated Wilberforce just about a week before he died. He actually sent a letter to Abraham Lincoln and actually encouraged him to do away with this vile practice, this what he called a blight on humanity. And so Wesley never lived to see the emancipation of the blacks in the United States as he saw it in England. But all this to say that with the aftershocks of the Civil War, and then of course in the early 20th century and leading up to the 50s and 60s with the Jim Crow laws, with segregation and so forth, we can understand why there was such a frustration and there was such anger among black Americans or African Americans, and for just cause. They had every reason to be upset and angry and so forth. And I think one of the greatest blights in American history and in Christian history is the fact that, to their own shame, there were Christian ministers in the South who were justifying slavery and trying to keep it. And this is one of the major events, I think, in North American Christian history that is an ugly blight on our image, and something that the church should be ashamed for, and a reprehensible thing such as slavery and so forth. But all that to say that what this did was it caused several black men in the United States to look at this and identify with the ancient Israelites who were slaves in Egypt. And they identified with the oppressed Israelites, and they began to reinterpret this whole idea of the slave trade and the transatlantic slave trade. They began to see that as analogous to the slavery that Israel was under in Egypt. and then looking for a figure who would emancipate them, who would be a deliverer, who would bring them out of the bondage and so forth. And many black leaders began to claim that they had received revelation. There was one black leader who founded the Hebrew Israelite movement, one among many, who claimed that an angel appeared to him. And apparently this angel had an afro as well.
Oh,
and that this angel appeared to him and told him that he had been called to liberate the black people in America and to awaken them to their true identity. Now we have to be careful here, because a lot of cults, a lot of false movements were started by the so-called appearances of angels, as we see in Galatians 1:6-9 about an angel bringing another gospel. And so many black people began to resonate with these messages that, yeah, we were oppressed, we were enslaved, and the white man is our taskmaster and so forth. Well, the Hebrew Israelites were grown out of this type of bedrock, this seedbed, if you will, and they have grown. They have broken up into many groups. Some of them are vehemently racist. They see white people as what they call Edomites. They are the ones who are responsible for enslaving them, oppressing them, and so forth. Others will allow them entry into the movement. Others believe that white people will become the slaves of the blacks during the millennium when Jesus Christ returns.
Interesting. Thank you, Dr. Costa.
My pleasure.
Thank you for watching this video. If you like what you see, please press the subscribe button right below. And beside that is the bell icon. If you want to receive all of our notifications of everything that we do, press that icon as well. Thank you.